ByuL taking a win on Expedition Lost, putting INnoVation on his last life going into this. But we haven't seen everything from him just yet. It was a great map for the build, the aggression we saw from ByuL there.
All right, now we're getting into dangerous territory when it comes to fighting mech. Echo is the next map, and the last map, Terraform. We've seen INnoVation do a lot of work on these two maps, and they've done a very solid amount of mech work. So ByuL's going to have to be prepared for at least one more game against mech. If he can do it this time, might be the time to do it. I'm sure he doesn't want to bring it to Game 5.
Yeah. So ByuL has two chances here. Both of these maps tough to all in on. I'd say that I kind of like Terraform more for an all-in, but we'll see what he decides to do here. He's got a lot more flexibility. INnoVation has no more room for error, no more room for mistakes. One game lost, and it's all over, and ByuL will be advancing to the semis. The map is loaded, Moonblade. It's time. Can ByuL close it out? It would be a big upset, I feel, especially versus INnoVation, who's so good at mech. Let's jump into this game. Welcome to Game 4. To the top left in red, one win away from the semis. It's ByuL.
Down here in the bottom right, do you have the blue Terran fighting to stay in this? It is INnoVation. Let the mech drums beat.
So we're going to see most likely mech for sure. Looks like it may be a CC first here as well. Definitely.
Man, he hasn't not done a CC first just yet. Sticking on that track. And yeah, I certainly think it's going to be mech this time around. This map is fantastic for it. Securing those 3 bases is one of the easiest things in the world.
4th base is pretty easy too. You've got some choices, of course, but I think taking the one next to your 3rd is like almost the brainless one.
Oh, high ground.
He's on his last life, and this is the kind of pressure that you can put into somebody's mind when you're up 2-1 on a 2-player map like this is Zerg.
You know, it'd be a magical thing to see. Double hatch before pull blind. I'd love to see that. We're not going to see it, but I think Life would do it.
Life would do it.
He'd do it blind because he knows INnoVation would do it every single game as the robot does.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think of some other Zergs that might. I'd say Life's probably the #1 candidate, though.
Probably like Leenock or something, but I don't think Leenock would make it this far.
Yeah. Definitely not having the results he once was.
Yeah, that's
Although,
for sure.
how about that SBENU play in Pro League this week?
Crazy. Absolutely insane.
Those Zergs, man. 3 Zergs in a row. Taking them to school.
Yeah, I do love it. I do love SBENU, especially when they come in guns blazing like that, completely prepared. This is one of the best team.
This is one of the coolest rounds we've ever seen of Pro League. I'm really excited at where things are at and how the playoffs are going to shape up. I think it's just going to be really exciting, to be totally honest. Because you might see some teams that you always see in playoffs, like Rolster, not there. So, you know, these spots will be filled by somebody else. Jin Air as well, not even necessarily through.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. All right, well, same sort of beginning from both sides. Nothing too out of the ordinary.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's kind of that ramp up. Going to see the factory placed kind of in a weird place.
It's like he's afraid of some sort of all-in. It's like building off that SimCity, completely walling off the ramp if the supply depot was ever banely busted. Now it's quite open.
I'll go ahead and make that out on closer to the factory. Looking at the big picture here. Well, ByuL not taking a 3rd base yet. Playing this insanely safe with the link speed. Wouldn't be surprised if he went 2 base muta here, actually.
Yeah, it's always a good opening. It's so versatile.
Oh my god, the wall not being tight might actually become a factor here. Moongate is going to get right into the main base. We'll be able to scout if there's a third CC or not.
Yeah, going to hunt down a Marine. Oh, look at that micro. 2 alive, but they're not going to be doing too much here. Might force some SCVs off the line. He sees 2 gas, important to note.
Yeah, no third CC, sees the starport. And he might even see this tech lab, which is, if it weren't there, it'd be crazy. So not a big deal if he doesn't see it. He's like, look at it.
Doesn't see it. Well, I guess safe to assume there.
Yeah.
Very quick stop. Or is it going to be that Viking again? I think so. We'll see. He hasn't really mixed it up at all. It seems like he really does just love to practice one style. And one style only. And there's that Viking again. Marauder this time there. Hello.
Hello. Safety Marauder. Canceled.
Canceled Marauder.
Just was not meant to be.
Looks like it is going to be that mech again. Wolf, his third CC goes down, and soon to be a factory on that tech lab.
Yeah. Don't think we're going to see anything too crazy. Like, I was thinking about the potential of 2 factory blue flame, but he's probably not. He doesn't really think out of the box.
That's kind of the strat you'd say for a map that's 4-player and your cross map or something. Almost impossible to scout. This kind of situation.
He could actually hit that third base pretty hard right now with those Hellions. It's pretty new. It's pretty fresh. I don't think he knows it's there.
He could work on it for sure. His armory on the way as well. If he had like Hellbats out in time, he could start. But 3 Queens there as well make things a little bit trickier.
eBay for safety. And Spire started around the same time. Struggling to find much here. Not even able to deny tumor spread.
Yeah, good position for ByuL to be in. Good start for him at least, but it's all about getting to that late game or how you get there, or if you can stop it getting there at all. He's going to be really focused on that third base to begin with.
Now the rock tower goes down, so these Hellions aren't going to find anything anymore. Widow Mines on the way. I think he's still scared of aggression.
Seems like, yeah, he's super paranoid that something could be coming his way. 2 Thors out as well. Maybe it's just a super safety first. He knows it's kind of just about surviving at this point. We did see how he performed in the late game, and how ByuL performed in the late game, I think, is a bigger note, because he was very underwhelming when it came to decision-making of how to fight, where to fight, and what composition to make.
Yeah. I mean, the Widow Mines are a welcome choice. I feel like the double Thor build that we're seeing him do is pretty good. See more than just INnoVation do this. But with ByuL's tendency to go fast mutas, I think it's really solid. You do see a quick Roach Warren and +1 for the Roaches, as well as the armor upgrade and an Infestation Pit. So it's not like going to be a heavy Roach timing, but he could definitely be aggressive with the Roaches early on.
Yeah, maybe quick to Vipers this time around with this kind of Infestation Pit would make sense.
I'd like to see him mess around with burrow movement a little bit more. It worked out really well for him on Expedition.
This map, it's kind of a little bit harder once there's like a decent turret placement. It's so much easier to defend 3 bases on in this one. So, I mean, it'd be good if he could set the tempo right now, like start trading out tanks and then go into it like he did on Expedition. But from here, look at that 1 muta. 1 muta.
The lone muta. That was you earlier, man, casting this.
The second Infestation Pit as well, next to the first one. So,
what does that even mean?
It means
he's choking, or does it mean like there's a build that I don't know?
It means his brain is frying right now. Like,
yeah,
there it is. A little bit of autopilot. He makes the hive, doesn't cancel that second Infestation Pit. Maybe he'll go into like super upgrades for Infestors or something.
It's the neural pathogens double upgrade timing.
It's that timing.
It's a neural parasite rush.
Yeah.
With energy upgrade.
Quickest infestation upgrade, Infestors upgrades you'll get. Look at these Roaches. Maybe they can find something here.
This is a pretty expensive mistake as well, but I guess let's forget about it for now. More armory power coming in here for additional upgrades.
Creep spread looking fantastic for ByuL so far. And he does have that 4th base getting saturated as we speak. In a good place, but how's he going to go from here? Is he going to invest into that Vipers? And go for that sort of Hydra Viper style. I want to see him try it. I want to see him do what Rogue did, because I think it was so effective early-ish. But the later it gets, the less effective it will be.
Sure. constant scans going down here for INnoVation, always trying to get more information. We'll see the Hive. Just barely doesn't see it finish, but he knows it's pretty close. He got the he's getting the range upgrade. He didn't get speed yet, right? I think that's something that his Hydras still lack.
Yeah, no speed just yet. A lot of Hydras on the way, and 3 Vipers as well. So good place to do this. I mean, what we see so far from INnoVation in terms of defense, we only see 4 tanks set up and a couple of Thors. These Vikings around the map looking for Overlords.
Yeah, he's got a lot of these. We've actually seen this work to great success. A lot of the time, players are just not expecting this, and the Vikings come out and kill a ton of Overlords. It also is a good scout. You have Hydras come and defend your Vikings. Sometimes you get an idea of how many Hydras he's making, what are the upgrades, things like that.
The scary thing is, though, that ByuL is essentially maxed out from here once he's remade those Overlords. You can go for a big attack. You just need to get energy on these Vipers and then begin. You could go for some Blinding Clouds considering how clumped up those tanks are as well.
Yeah. Lone Roach checking for the 4th. Well, you know, he's got 8 tanks now. It's a ton of Roach support. Oh, he's just going to kill it. He's like, oh, I'll pay for my mistake.
Shame consume.
Well,
this is really focused on. It's not that expensive. It's okay.
It's like kind of expensive, but I mean, you know.
It's like 150, 100 or something. It's just cheap.
It's like when you accidentally go the wrong way on the subway, you have to pay twice. It's like, well, I mean, that was kind of annoying, but we don't have to talk about it anymore.
It's like an extra $1.
It's like not gonna tell your girlfriend about when you get home. You're just gonna be like, well, I hope you forget about that.
Yeah, let's hope no one ever knows. Well, here we go. Positioning is good for the Zerg. Can he find the Blinding Clouds?
He's trying for it. Here they go. Those tanks are all in the same place. Not only Blinding Clouds, but this time Abducts as well. The Vikings here totally useless. He's going to land them here. More Blinding Clouds on these tanks, but
that spread of tanks, man, simply too much.
You know, he had very few tanks firing at the beginning of the fight, but he got the rest of the tanks into the fight there at the end. And even with the second set of Blinding Clouds, it just didn't matter.
That's right. It's not the best engagement at all for ByuL. He had to deal with a concave of siege tanks at the end of all things, and with that many Vikings to wipe out the Vipers as well, you're never going to find the ideal Blinding Clouds.
Yeah. Well,
Remax is here.
Yeah, but he's building the same type of composition. He's going to have 2-2 this time.
Oh my goodness.
Do not go down that ramp! No!
You really wanted that tank.
Fight these Hellions, though.
Hey, we got a few Hydras behind that. So, decent exchange. Maybe wanted to go for the 4th or something, try and get the Terran out of position instead of trying to fight down into that big concave of death.
This is just such a tough style to play against as a Zerg.
For ByuL, it's like, well, where do I go from now? Like, where do I go from here? Like, because I just kind of lost my timing. I didn't find any damage.
Yeah, from a Zerg's perspective here, it's almost just like, well, I lost my timing. How do I transition? I have Hive Tech, but what Hive Tech do I pick? I only have 500 gas. It's like, where does he go from here is probably in his mind like, well, maybe game 5, right?
It's essentially that, right? Like, unless he finds, like, the perfect engagement with the Blinding Clouds, like, it's always going to be a difficult sort of situation.
And we're not trying to sound like defeatists or...
We ain't negative Nancy's here.
Yeah, it's just the truth of the matter is, at this point of the game, barring big mistakes from INnoVation, it's going to be a very tough, nearly impossible game for ByuL to win. He's allowed too much space to the mech player, and he tried to engage early, took a bad engagement. It looked initially like a good one, but the reinforcing tanks were just too much. The splits were too good.
Scouts with these Lings, the 4th, completely up and running already. He's going to poke down here into siege tanks. Ah, that's not the way to do it. He's waiting for the Terran to move out, but the Terran won't move out because he has no reason to.
He's got Viking Vision. He scans it. He also has a sensor tower. He's got a sensor tower to spot these units and exactly how they're splitting. So he can prepare, he can readjust his siege tanks accordingly. He is not going to break this, but maybe that's not the plan. Maybe that's not the idea. The idea is to build a bigger bank and hope to wear him down by doing little things like this. Although I don't know if that was even worth it. I mean, it was, obviously, but he lost a lot of roaches that first wave of shots.
It's a good start.
It's definitely worth it, but it's little things like this that he has to do for a long period of time.
We need to go back to that rogue game again. Look at this. This is what we haven't been seeing from INnoVation, and I finally are. These simple Hellion run-bys that just do sickening damage. 11 drones for 4 Hellions.
A lot of unsieged tanks, and there goes some Blinding Clouds. This could be ByuL's opportunity. Those tanks, some of them do siege up, but they're still underneath a second wave of blinding clouds. The problem is, even with this many good blinding clouds, this is just too much. This is just too much mech. Mech is just too cost efficient. You're never going to break it.
5 ultras on the way. 2 more Vipers. It's all his gas down the drain for this Remax here.
Could there have ever been a better fight for him to take with his comp? I don't think so. It still just doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, the only better thing would be if those tanks were all sieged up and they were blinding, so like they couldn't actually run away either. But besides that, I mean, this composition is just getting outdated. It's becoming redundant in a way because there's simply too many tanks.
Oh, that one queen, it's like no health. I think this is the beginning of the end. He's losing ground now to this mech army.
Just a lack of answers. He's making ultras, but they don't have the upgrades. They don't have the damage upgrades right now. They had the carapace, but that's it.
Yep, no chitinous either. And there's just so many tanks here to burst them down before they can even get in. A lot of queens went down earlier as well. There's 2 queens we saw even die to Widow Mines. Oh, this could be some good hits as well.
Ooh, yeah. ByuL's kind of being desperate right now. He's being overly aggressive.
Oh, God, man. Those queens are so important.
Here we go again. Not bad start to this, but if he tries to fight down here, it's going to be Death Valley once again.
I like that Death Valley, man. It's so well said. I feel like the other thing about this INnoVation can be a little bit more, he's got a decent bank in gas. He can be a little bit more aggressive. He can be a little bit more liberal with this army because he knows that ByuL's bank is not what it was in the previous games where he's playing mech. He also knows that he can make BCs when he actually loses these tanks, as long as he has that bank for it, which he does.
Yeah, here we go again. Nice blinding cloud this time around there.
And they're all sieging up underneath them. And that's a lot of ultras coming in here. If they only had the damage upgrades, this could be such a better fight. Hydra's still doing decent damage from behind. They're going to kill his planetary, but he has to back off here.
Huge investment for that planetary. He got a lot of tanks. If those queens are in place for the transfuses, those ultras at front would have done a lot more as well.
I like how much we're actually seeing these Vikings come into play as well. They actually do give so much extra DPS. It's like better than a Marine in a sense for buffering.
It's like more than double damage the Marine, so it is pretty powerful for sure.
And with these upgrades too, 2-3, you can just lift them up, push back Overseers, Overlords, Broodlords. Nah, don't make those. First BC's on the way with Behemoth Reactor, and this is a losing chess game at this point for ByuL. Essentially, he's trying to take good trades. But look at this. The Mule Torrent.
Just so much income and more command centers, more and more orbitals are going to be on the way. They're in the making right now, 2 of them. And yeah, it's like just about finding a way in, which is such a hard thing to do on this map. This is why this map is so good for mech, because it's so easy to defend, like 4 or 5 bases.
Yeah. Just keep scanning, wants to know where that army is. He's got 2 sensor towers, 1 ultra.
The lone ultra.
He's going to get the tank. I think he is.
Going to get 2, I think, if he wants.
46 health.
Wants to go home.
Bopped. It's not going home. Nope. The turret wall here. More sensor towers. Oh, God. It's never going to be a good engagement. The Viper's so out of position. 2 of them go down. Is that all of them? Yeah, that's all his Vipers.
This is the power of what Rogue was doing, you know. Have like 10 Vipers, remove the Vikings from the equation before you go for anything else. I liked it so much more. I think it would be good for this sort of situation. Beyond that, though, it's just another question. But right now, where he's at, he should be picking apart the army as best he can.
He has enough money to make more Vipers, but he's going to need time. He's only making 2. Just doesn't look like that's the way most Zergs want to play this matchup right now. Although I also personally think it's the best way. Imagine if you have 7 Vipers, then the Terran has somewhat of the same problem that you have. It's hard to attack into the Terran. It's hard for the Terran to attack into you. Every time you're on the edge and you pull 4 Vikings and kill them, then you pull 4 more Vikings and kill them. At least you're making the Terran deplete his bank. You kill a siege tank here or there. You're doing something. At this point, he's just, I don't know, he's just grasping at straws.
He's just going back and forth in range of sensor towers, looking for an engagement that he won't find. At least INnoVation's still going for these Hellion run buys, which I like a lot there. The more he does this, the better, especially when this army's constantly going back and forth between sensor towers. Here we go again, looking for that abduct. Finds it.
Siege tank. It's like almost not worth the energy. He needs more. He needs more consistent abducts. Like, if you kill 1 siege tank, that's That's something he needs to be doing this more often. He needs more abducts. He needs to be killing Vikings as well, so his Vipers have more, freedom. I don't know. It's just, it looks hopeless because INnoVation is playing this so well. Oh, look at this. He's going to try to funnel in between those turrets at planetary. Yeah, right.
Look at that. He almost lost his Vipers again. These Vikings are looking for them.
Yeah, he needs to have his queens controlled really well as well to help zone out those Vikings. So if he kills a Viper, make it cost a lot. Make it expensive. Don't let him have that for free.
The mech bank is getting pretty huge at this point as well. Kind of scarily.
Yeah, this is not what we saw in the previous mech game.
This is actually a lot of space INnoVation has had, simply because of the map layout, but still, it's like he's been given a lot of time to just sit there, make the army he desires, make all the orbitals he wants, and max out. And from this point, it's going to be about the Zerg trying to find a way to deal with the army, because it's nearly unstoppable. When BCs come into play and you've only got Hydras and Queens, like, you're gonna
they don't dent the BCs, they don't scratch them.
You're gonna do minimum damage, and then you're gonna remax and Corruptors and hope that you have enough to overwhelm and somehow to start destroying these bases.
You've only got a few chances for that, especially if you engage like ByuL was doing in the previous series or previous match.
Oh man, he even lost his Viper to a turret.
He's so flustered. I feel like he just cannot play the late game versus INnoVation.
It seems that way. It seems like he's very inexperienced about dealing with this kind of super turtley late game mech Terran.
Only 49 SCVs on the map too again. This means INnoVation's army is much bigger than ByuL's at 76 workers. 21 siege tanks. Four battle cruisers with Yamato cannon.
About to have 2 more as well. A lot of options here. Finally getting rid of some of these tanks so he can start making even more.
Yep.
And these tanks can just deal with the hatchery.
Force this army out of position. Oh wow, he's even got a turret push over here. ByuL's like AFK, man.
He might as well be.
He doesn't know what to do. He clearly doesn't have an answer.
He's just upgrading his flyers slowly but surely. Like, getting +2 carapace now. Back and forth, threatening to attack, but not actually. Another Ultra on the way.
Just can't be giving up bases like this.
His bank is amazing there. Like, it's a huge bank, but when INnoVation's is half the size even, it's a scary thing.
He's never going to kill INnoVation's army. INnoVation's never going to have to remax.
Oh, man.
Oh, gotta be not flying Vipers into turrets. He's going to lose these Vipers. Look at that. INnoVation's on it. Oh, I noticed your most important units are out there. Hey. I guess I'll kill him for free.
I guess he got the planetary there. That's something. He's going to lose units for it. He lost that bottom left base.
So he's going to remax. He's got 25 supply freed up. He's going to get a BC. There's the abduct we've been waiting for. Oh, a few more here.
Ooh, doesn't find it. These tanks kind of zoning out everything.
Yeah, and it's just so much plating on those BCs.
I think you need to go into Corruptors from here, but no more Ultras. Oh, I don't know about this.
He keeps doing this, but Corruptors are so difficult to do against this many Vikings, plus the upgrades, the turret masses, turret forest, if I use a Moonglade term.
Turret forest. I think this is like the...
turret city. It's like a turret skyscraper, like, I don't even know, man.
Yeah.
The turret district.
Turret district, man.
Just going to get another BC, that weakened one from before. This is Turret District A, Turret District B over here, and Turret District C over on the east side.
Samsite City, man.
High sec auto tracking, man. All the men in the turret all working together as a team, all spinning together.
Well, I think the answer is just more Vipers, more anti-air. Pick away at the army. Make enough so you can pick away at the flock of Vikings, you know. I think that is the answer, that, or at least one of the answers, especially if there's no Ravens as well to zone out anything. Like, if there's no Seeker missiles, then hey, trade away all you want.
During this lull, I mean, let's talk about Game 5. Assuming INnoVation wins this, does ByuL just do an all-in, or does he actually try to beat this army again? I just think, I don't want to say he's bad at it, I just feel like INnoVation is so good at it that it seems hopeless.
Yeah, it's certainly...
A Viper for a tank. Ugh, 2 tanks there at the end, but
he's certainly having a hard time with it.
another Viper goes down for free.
He really does not have an answer for this at all. It's kind of just like, well, I'm going to try and go over here.
He doesn't even know what to make.
He doesn't.
Like, it's clear. This is not a moment of like, well, let me strategically wait until the last second to max out. No, he doesn't know what to do. He's like, well, 8 more Hydras, I guess, and an Ultra. He's found no success with his unit comp, and he's losing ground, and he's losing it fast. This is a difference between like the previous Met game we saw between these two. Game 2, where ByuL was never letting him take his bases away at least. In this game, he's systematically taking the bases away from ByuL, which means he can build a better bank.
There's just no answer to trying to engage into anywhere here. Look at this. Hydra Queen trying to deal with a planetary that's getting repaired by 10 SCVs. That's never going to happen.
More Yamatos. Now he's down to 137. He's going to lose everything here. This is 8 BCs. 1A that across the map. Drop mules to repair it.
Hydra's now on the way. Yeah, it really feels like ByuL has the most amazing Zerg vs. Bio, but when it comes to Zerg vs. Mech, I feel like he's really, really lacking in the understanding, or at least the ideas of how to do it.
He's definitely not comfortable, that's for sure.
He's fantastic in every other aspect, but just doesn't seem to be finding an answer at all for this, and he's not willing to change up his composition, which I think is pretty important.
But I don't know what the answer is here, Moonglade, but I think there might just not be an answer at this stage. The answer, this is oftentimes the case with death ball type compositions in StarCraft 2, is the answer is don't let your opponent get 8 BCs with 3-3 and control half the map with planetaries.
Like there's still like the hope of Corruptors wiping things out here. I feel like that we're going to see eventually a Corruptor Remax, and I think it could do a lot against this army because it's not too big so long as you have enough Corruptors and you actually corrupt the enemy like he didn't do last time.
Well, we're going to have to see. Okay, he's actually going to start clearing up the turret districts off the map. 37 Hydras on the map, and this is a lot of ranged DPS that can wipe through these structures so easily. Also can kill Thors if they get caught out, because some of these Thors are going alone really easily. But if he actually just fights against the BCs with siege tank support, this army has no chance. Like this,
yeah, he should not be fighting
He can't fight this unless he wants to remax with Corruptors afterwards, I guess.
He must be planning a remax here because there's no way you win this fight. Down goes everything. That is so many BCs.
Imagine that ByuL's army is a stick of butter and the BCs are the sun. Like
the sun.
It's 55 Corruptors and then starts a Greater Spire.
All right.
Don't know about this. I mean, it's
the answer we've been waiting for. It's like the natural progression here. It's like, okay, now you're going to try for that Remax. But look at this. 8 Vikings on the way. It's like INnoVation's expecting it.
He knows. He's got so many Thors on the ground already as well. BCs are getting repaired. BCs aren't even half bad versus Corruptors.
No, if they have the energy... Look at this.
Oh,
the flower.
Get out of my game.
The flower of knowledge.
He's like, I know. Sup, dude?
He knows all.
Fly into my turrets. Where's the corruption?
You can't fly into that. Aww.
Manner scan so hard.
Yeah. And look, he's just going to march his army, his ground army up to the top right.
Look at all this Thor damage. Every shot is incredible damage. Okay, he's just trolling, I think, at this point. What is he even looking for? He's trying to find those BCs.
Wow, it's almost like ByuL has given up.
I think he has, man.
Like he's looking for the BCs, which I can respect, but he's going to fly over the Sam City once again.
Here we go. Going to find this engagement finally. It's still underneath turrets.
Oh, my God. It's like
Look
ByuL just doesn't even want to play anymore.
Well, I wouldn't, man. Not versus INnoVation's mech. Is he just remaxing with 27 Hydras? I don't think so.
This is a horrible sort of mindset to have going into Game 4. I mean, he still has 1 game to go. Don't give up yet. I guess he's just willing to let it go.
He literally gave up. He was like, screw this, I'm done. I'm not playing this game anymore. You know, casters don't know what to say, what to do next. I don't know what to say, what to do next. There's ideas, it's nebulous, but we're at like a 39-minute game where there's turrets. We're talking like 60, 70 turrets.
Look at ByuL right now. Look how frustrated he is. He is so pissed off. I think all Zergs everywhere are right now. He could even be in tears right now. He looks so